My name is Martin Klaasen and welcome to another edition of Light Talk. This edition was recorded late last year, towards the end of October, when Sharon Stammers and Martin Lupton came to Singapore as part of their Asian tour for the Women in Lighting. They came to our studios in Singapore, which is an all-women studio. One of the reasons they made a stop to interview one of our lead designers, Cheryline Chua. So I took the opportunity to turn the tables on them and interview them to understand more about the project that's called Women in Lighting. This is the result of that recording. My name is Martin Klaasen and welcome to another edition of Light Talk. My guests today are Sharon Stammers and Martin Lupton from Light Collective. Welcome to Singapore.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
In my Light Talk chats, I normally want to understand a bit more what you guys are doing and see how you influence our world of lighting designers. So first of all, can you tell a little bit about yourself? Who is Sharon Stammers? Who is Martin Lupton? What are you doing in daily life?
So I live in London. I started off as a stage electrician and then did a master's in architectural lighting. So I have been a lighting designer for almost 24 years, something like that.
You're still so young.
Oh, you're so kind. I know
generous,
that's not true. And for the last 10 years, I've been working with Martin as Light Collective.
So I'm Martin Lupton. I live in Birmingham, in England, 100 miles away from Sharon. We like to keep a sort of a fair distance between us.
Yeah.
I started my career as an environmental engineer and then did a PhD in lighting and then went into lighting design from there.
Okay.
So I've done about 24
So you're really business partners. You're not partners in life, because sometimes there's this misconception.
No, it's true.
We are married to other people.
Yes. Right,
But
okay.
lots of people think that we're married to each other. But when we say we live in different cities, it's then very obvious.
Right. Now, you're in Singapore for a very special reason. Why are you in Singapore?
We're in Singapore because we are continuing the interviews for the Women in Lighting project. And we very much felt like we had a hole with Asia, and we had not interviewed any Asian designers. So we're on a sort of mad whistle-stop tour, taking in
Hong Kong, Bangkok, Singapore, Shanghai.
In 3 days, 4 days, 5 days?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to add a total of 12 more interviews, I think, to the 50 that we've done so far.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be great to get the sort of Asian influence.
Yes. And I understand tonight we have a Women in Lighting event.
We do.
All right.
We do.
Are we expecting a lot of people coming?
I believe, I think it's over 50 people have been invited.
Oh, nice.
But it's been really nice to have Women in Lighting events in various different countries and talk about the project and bring people together. And it's been really fantastic that it's men and women coming to the event.
Absolutely. Now, tell me a bit about how Women in Lighting started, because I think you probably had that question a couple of times already. But
we have heard it.
It's interesting to understand how did you actually come up with that idea?
Well, it started because we made a mistake. Basically, about 2 years ago, we made a film called The Perfect Light.
Yes.
And we went again around the world and interviewed 22 lighting designers. And then we showed the film in New York. And one of the lighting designers came up to us afterwards and said, that was a really good film, we really enjoyed it, but where were all the women? And we thought, oh.
Yeah, you got a point.
Never given it a single thought that we had not balanced the people we chose to talk to.
Right.
And that made us sort of wonder if there was an unconscious bias in the way we all do things. So Martin sort of undertook this big statistical piece of work and looked at conferences and awards juries and magazine panels and all those things that we do sort of extracurricular to design.
You discovered the pattern.
Yeah. Basically, there was a massive bias towards men being overrepresented on all of these things. There's conferences we found where there was 42 male speakers and 2 female speakers.
True,
we were in Light Fair this year. There was a massive poster on the wall of all the keynote speakers over the last 15 years. and there were 3 women in the picture.
Whoa.
And I sent it to Lightfair.
Mm.
I said, "Oh, what are you going to do about this next year?" It's been a real eye opener.
What was great though is they engaged as well, didn't they, straight away? And they've
Right.
so we're going to go to Lightfair next year. We're going to try and sort of help
Yeah.
promote the project as part of Lightfair. And we thought maybe it's like that historically, but then even at PLBC in Rotterdam 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
there was the Think Do panel,
Right.
which
Yes,
is the plenary
yes,
session,
right.
which is deciding the future or talking about the future of the lighting profession.
And no,
22 men, 2 women. And we were really surprised.
But
So-
go ahead.
I was going to say, so we know, I mean, for example, the International Lighting Design Survey that Art Magazine does,
Mhm.
that there are roughly about 50
Yeah.
female male designers in the world.
Yeah.
So why is this
So where are
happening?
my men?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Because one of the reasons you're here is that I've got an all-female crew,
yeah,
which is I never set out to have that, but it just happens. We select people based on their capabilities and their skills and their experience, and I'm just ending up this way. Not that we have looked at to get only women, but it just
it does
It
seem to
happened.
be very much the Asian market does seem to be like that. We found
Yeah.
that in Bangkok
also more
yesterday.
women.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Sweden as well.
Sweden's
and
like that
Chile
too,
as
and
well.
Chile, yeah.
Lots of female designers, but then there's lots of countries that are participating in the project. We have ambassadors
Mhm.
for the project in
Yeah.
69 different countries, and some of those countries, not only is lighting design not really an established
Mhm.
profession,
Mm.
but it's also hard to be a female in work. So for them to hear about countries and offices like yours where you have an all female
Yeah.
staff, you're doing amazing projects around the world, it's very, very inspirational for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, because the crew here, the team has to travel also. We
Yeah.
go from China to India. So they have to really travel also to go to site. And as a woman, it's not always that easy to face contractors, clients.
Yeah.
Specifically in Asia, where you see a lot of hierarchical like divisions, like the boss,
Yes.
and it's very much layered. So if you're not like the CEO of the company, it's not always that easy to
Yeah.
talk to the top of clients' management structures and things like that. So as I mentioned to you before, we feel that we need to support our team also in terms of education, in terms of training.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's also culturally ingrained that it's not that easy to talk to other
Yes.
people and to present to other people.
Yeah.
Is that something that you have seen?
That's
in
definitely
your-
one of the messages that has come through loud and clear from a lot of the people we've
Right.
interviewed, a lot of the women we've interviewed, in that they aren't as keen to just step up and do a
Yes.
presentation.
Yeah.
They're not driven by ego, whereas a lot of men will just they see that as a good step to promoting themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas women are actually much more interested. If you say to them, "Well, you stepping up and doing this interview or doing this presentation
Yeah.
will help your female colleagues feel more confident to do it and give them a role model,"
But it's also
then they're more likely to do it.
also about time management as well. So
Yeah.
most a lot of the women we've interviewed would they're juggling family and work
Yeah.
or other different things, and therefore talking at a conference is a lower priority than getting home and doing the homework with your kids. So
Absolutely.
that seems to be something that
Yeah.
people struggle to sort of see the importance of speaking out. I was going to say when we were at Light and Least and the panel, we asked the room like how many women have been in a meeting, been the only woman, and they all put their hand up, and then the men, how many times have you been the only man in the room? And it's
And
just
you
not,
put your hand up.
it's not, yeah, but in general,
Yeah.
it's not a thing. So,
But there were quite a
it's
lot of
interesting.
men actually in that
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's been really good about the project.
Yeah.
Is there's been a lot of men like yourself who really see the benefit of it and embrace
promoting
it, and because I think it's
No, I
important.
think it's important. Yeah. But it also has to be balanced,
Yeah,
right? I think it's all about that.
But that's what the message was from the beginning. It's not creating a forum where women complain about the lighting industry not being good to them, because that's not true. I've had
No.
a wonderful career
Yeah.
and not really had problems being female. But this idea that gender balance is better for everybody,
Yeah.
and that's what equality across the board is better for everything. So any panel that is 50-50 is obviously going to be better.
Yeah.
So we've challenged quite a lot of organisations to sort of improve the amount of female speakers to try and get that.
So how long has this been going on, this within lighting?
That's
you started not that long ago.
No, that's
right?
the crazy thing. 8th of March this year we launched it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And we've
it's
now
a little
got-
bit over half a year.
Yeah, 50 interviews, 69 ambassadors.
And the response has been fantastic, no?
Incredible.
I've seen in magazines they talk
Yeah.
about Light Middle East,
Yeah.
BLDC,
Yeah,
Light Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Spreading out.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing you guys are doing, because
Oh, yeah.
I know you for many, many years. I remember you doing events at Light and Build for lighting manufacturers, Cicato,
Yeah.
people like that.
for lamp.
Your Perfect Light. You're now looking at doing a life tree or a tree
Oh,
of
yeah.
life.
the
or something.
International Lighting Designers Family Tree.
Yeah. So
Because we always, that's the thing about lighting, and we've been in it for 25 years, as we said,
Hmm.
and it is like a big family. You meet people along the way, and then they go off there, and then your paths cross again. And it's just a really nice industry to work in. Everybody's really sort of friendly and supportive.
Well, we
we've seen
also-
each other, what 3-4 times
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Yeah.
In
We're in different
Barcelona,
countries,
in
Yeah.
Dubai, Rotterdam.
So we wanted to sort of try and create an analysis of where
I
everybody's
think
been
we
and
really
gone.
like data, don't we?
We love
like,
data.
like a bit of
Yeah.
data. So yeah, the idea
It's the
of
future,
no, exactly. But the idea of visualising in some way everybody's journey,
Yeah.
it also gives us a really good snapshot of where we
Yeah.
are as an industry,
Yeah.
and the amount of people that are moving from place to place, how many women, how many men.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
the
a bit of fun as well.
that's going to be a
So
real
the question
challenge.
now is, of course, you've got all these crazy events, I can say sometimes, but how do you get to it? Because as lighting designers, okay, we are focused in doing our job as lighting designers.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is, well, besides your lighting design, but you're also developing crazy ideas into something realistic. You get somehow
Why?
support
Yeah.
to carry it out also, but you also need a certain attitude and mentality
think-
to develop these kind of ideas.
And wine. You need
And
wine.
wine. I've got
There's
some
a
wine.
lot of
over there.
wine on aeroplanes these ideas
Yeah.
come from.
Oh.
I think we realised a little while ago that actually we were sort of, as well as designers, light activists,
Mhm.
and there was lots of things that we felt very passionate about. So whether that's sort of designing great social lighting
Yeah.
or protecting the night sky or women in lighting,
Yeah.
that if we could find a way to create a platform for talking about those things
Yeah.
and making other people talk about them, then we were helping everybody in the lighting community.
Are you both as creative? Are both
Yeah,
of you?
yeah,
It's
yeah, no.
like a collective.
Yes, I mean it works a bit like a game of tennis, doesn't it? It starts with one person and then it gets battered backwards and
Right,
forwards,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
grows, and then somebody smashes it down. But yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a complete creative collaboration.
We
isn't it?
we argue a lot.
Basically, we argue all
That's
the
how
time.
you get the best things, right? After a good argument.
Yeah, and we have an ideas list, don't we? So
Yeah.
you said, where do they come from? Quite
Yeah,
often,
like
it's
your
like,
bucket list. And then
yeah,
you go,
we have an ideas list and
Yeah.
we keep it, and then sometimes we think, right, we really want to make that work. Let's go and find a route to make it work. So
Yeah,
if
there's
anybody
some-
needs an idea,
we've got quite
Okay.
a few things
Yeah,
you
yeah,
may
yeah.
yet see.
But so you're building a name for yourself as lighting activists, besides being lighting designers, I think. I mean, you're probably more known for your lighting
probably,
activism.
yeah, because we
Than for your
deliberately
lighting
don't
design.
talk about lighting design.
So
anymore.
let's talk about your lighting design.
Let it out into that one,
You do it as lighting collective also? Is that
We do it as
So,
like collective,
okay.
yeah.
So and how is the balance between the activism and the actual lighting design?
At the moment, there's less lighting design. The balance has tipped.
I would imagine,
At
yeah.
other times, it's been more design.
Completely the other way.
Right.
But it's a mixture of very small projects to very big projects. So, I mean, for example, next year we're doing a very big community project in the UK, which celebrates 400 years of the Mayflower ship going to
Oh, wow.
America.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
involving 13 different communities
Yeah.
that the ship travelled to with an end piece. So there's lighting design in that, but it's also a kind of community
Installation,
light art
community
sort of thing.
engagement, yeah.
But then we've done lots of sort of bread and butter work in the Middle East for residential things or
Yeah.
So you're
shopping centres
residential,
or
commercial, corporate stuff,
all sorts of things.
Yeah,
Museums,
Doesn't
or-
matter.
Exterior,
Yeah.
urban,
Yeah.
whatever comes your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I
how
think
do you
because
balance
our backgrounds are so diverse as
Right.
well, and obviously we've both worked in lighting design for 15 years before we did Light Collective,
Right.
pure straight light design,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing else. And Sharon did loads of amazing heritage buildings and they were master plans.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of retail and commercial stuff. So the balance we've got between
You must
those-
have a team to back you up.
No,
Or it's just the two of you.
You know, it's just the two of us.
Really?
really.
Somebody
Wow.
asked us yesterday who's looking after our staff while we're here. We haven't got any staff.
Well, in a way, it's easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
staff.
yeah.
We've never had any
Right.
staff.
So
Yeah.
if somebody calls the office, it sort of redirects to your mobile?
Yeah,
Or?
yeah.
And
It's not
we,
easy. I don't know how you do it.
No, it's
it
not
has
easy.
its pluses, though, doesn't it? Because other things.
You don't have a client going, hey, Martin, come to site. Sorry, I'm doing Women in Lighting. I don't
So,
have
but
time.
we'll come next week.
Yeah.
Some clients here
Well,
are not that
I know,
patient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, to be fair, we had a client call us last week and said,
Yeah.
the commission's fallen, they've forgotten how to work the control system on the gallery. They called us on Monday and we just went to site on Thursday morning after an event and before another event, commissioned it. And then,
The advantages are that there's just the two of us. We
Yeah.
can move very fast and be
Easy
quite
decision
agile,
making.
and
Yeah.
we're not beholden to anyone.
No.
And if we want to sort of break some rules, we'll break some rules.
Ah. So, what does it have as an effect on your private life with all this? How do you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Or-
yeah, we've both got kids, and one
You
of the
still
things,
know them?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, the thing is, we sort of think that we've got like a lifestyle company.
Right.
So when we're not
Like
traveling
you
the world,
with your houses and
yeah,
Yeah.
when we're not traveling the world at meetings,
Yeah.
we're actually both working from home.
Yeah.
So I mean, my kids are 13 and 16 now, so they're way more independent. But for the first 5 years of Light Collective,
Right.
I would walk my kids to school every day and pick them up from school every
yeah,
day.
go
and-
to all those shows and
Yeah,
you know,
all
the-
the-
We
Yeah.
sometimes
all the
have
kids.
kids here. I mean,
Yeah.
Some of the kids that they have, they're
To
small.
be fair,
they're
our
few-
children have been to.
Yeah,
we
I
once took 4 children to a meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that you need to integrate them. But so you have been traveling a lot. You've been traveling the world, whether it's Americas, Middle East, Europe, and now Asia. Do you see any distinctive differences in how people approach lighting design, the type of people you meet?
It's a really hard question.
I know
I think
it
in
is.
terms of lighting design,
You have to be put a hard
yeah.
question because you put hard questions to other people as well.
in terms of lighting design, I think most of the people we meet are all working at a really incredible professional level.
yes,
Like the top of the game, and the projects are all sort of award winning. They're brilliant. East and West slightly different in approach, but what we've noticed is sort of culturally, as we talk to different lighting designers, it's more about sort of approach to life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So especially South America is a really good example. Earlier this year, we were part of they call it an encuentro.
an encounter.
An encounter in Uruguay, and it all ended with a plenary session where everyone talked about what they'd learned and how much they'd enjoyed it, and there was lots of crying. It was very emotional.
evangelical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because and their passion is sort of worn very openly.
Sounds really like a counseling session.
Yeah,
It
no,
was.
It was
It was
amazing.
totally a
It
council
was sort
session.
of like I came away feeling so sort of wow. But obviously in the UK, if we finished a conference, we'd all just go home and have a cup of tea. There'd be no sort of emotional
We would
exchange.
talk about it. No.
So culturally, the differences between
Yeah,
people are
I think
incredible.
approaches there's a very common. I think the one thing that differs is the differential is the maturity of the market that people are working in. So some people have got to approach things differently because their market isn't ready to support fear in independent lighting design totally. Sometimes puts a bit of it. Sometimes the client's approach to lighting is a lot more ruthless than in other areas where you get very educated clients that see the benefit straight away.
We're meeting a lot of people, especially for women in lighting, who are working in countries where they may be the only lighting designer, so they're just starting. So the ambassadors for the project in Pakistan, there's 2 young women who've literally gone back to Pakistan and said, we're going to start our own company, and within the first few weeks of them doing that, They've been on national television in Pakistan,
Whoa.
and they have a
Yeah.
meeting with one of the ministers of
That's
the
really nice.
parliament
Yeah.
to say how important lighting design is,
Right.
and so they're taking from everybody that's
Right.
more established around the world and
Yeah.
saying, right, we're bringing it to our country. But at the moment, it's just 2 of them.
But I think that's also one of the things that you bring to the party is you create inspiration and motivation for people by these events.
We hope so.
We hope
No,
so.
I
Yeah,
think so. I mean-
that's we try to. But
It's also through my blogs and also what we're doing this light talk. People read things and you never know what people pick up.
yeah,
And I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the gratifying thing is sometimes I come across people say, oh, you know what you said then and then, or what
Yeah.
you guys did then, and it's nice to have that feedback.
absolutely. Yeah, it makes the pain worthwhile.
yeah. So, what's in store for the future after Women in Lighting? Or is that something that will still?
The things on our secret list we can't tell you about.
There's no project in the making. I know you've done Perfect Light 2, and you're studying your tree of lighting design.
There are some strange projects, but they'll remain secret until we reveal them.
Oh,
You can be the first to know. We'll let you know.
But just not now.
We'll give you a
Not
heads
now.
up. Yeah.
The International Lighting Design Family Tree is obviously going to be quite consuming once
I
that
think
gets
so
Yeah.
too.
going.
Yeah.
We've already had nearly 300 people sign up and submit their details, and we've literally only
I
promoted
still
it
have to do
twice.
it. I
It's
definitely gonna
yeah.
put in mind. It's quite an interesting journey after 40 years.
yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be difficult.
We might have enough
track.
string.
Yeah, well, I was born in Holland, French mother, moved to Singapore, office in China and Australia. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You've got everything going on.
All right, let's round up. Thanks very much for this chat.
Thank you.
I think we're off to a little party at Altitude. Thank you very much for this chat. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking us.
Good to see you.